Hello and welcome to my coding course to build a full-fledged e-commerce website exactly like Amazon by the best tech stack in the world, Next.js, Postgres database, and Shadcn UI. We will develop an attractive homepage that follows the best design practices we have: a hero section, new collections, ongoing deals, all complemented by shop features. We will create a search page that allows users to explore products, apply category, price, and rating filter like Amazon. Also, we develop a concise product details page with variant selections, rate and review products, and products recommendations. We implement a shopping cart system which works with or without authentication. User can adjust quantity, get instant update to the pricing, or remove products from the cart. We create a user authentication with a secure login using Google, Magic Link, and email and password. Then we develop a simple checkout process which is optimized for the best user experience, get shipping address using Google Map, and process payments by PayPal or Stripe. And you also develop a user-friendly account page which allows users to update personal information, see past purchases, and of course a logout option. That's just the start. The real fun is the admin panel from where you can control absolutely anything in your shop website, starting from e-commerce overview, oversee orders, and manage customers. My name is Basir and I'll be your instructor in this course. I am a senior web developer in international companies like ROI Vision in Montreal and a coding instructor with 50,000 students around the world. You need to open the code editor along with me and start coding throughout this course. I teach you creating e-commerce website pages by Next server components, designing headers, footer, sidebar, menu and search box by Shadcn and Tailwind. Quick view product by modals using Next.js parallel routes and intercepting routes. Create database models by Drizzle Orm and Postgres database. Handling form inputs by React Hook Form and Zod. Updating data by the server actions without any API. Managing shopping cart using HTTP cookies on server side. Handling authentication and authorization by NextAuth, creating customer dashboard to update profile and track orders, and implement a fully functional admin dashboard with beautiful charts handling products, orders, and users. Also, you will learn how to use online services like PayPal and Stripe for online payment, Vercel for website deployment, and Postgres database, Google Map to locate customer address on map, resend service to email order receipts, upload thing to upload product images. I designed this course for web developers and entrepreneurs. If you are or want to be a web developer, take this course to become a professional web developer, have a great project in your portfolio, and get a job in 22 million job opportunities around the world. If you are an entrepreneur, take this course to launch your startup, sell your products and services using this fully functional e-commerce website, and earn money from your idea. The only requirement for this course is having basic knowledge of React and Next. Feel free to take a look at the course preview and enroll if it's along with your ambitions. In this lesson, we are going to install development tools including web browser, code editor, source control, and JavaScript runner. Let's go for it. Let's start by code editor. It's VS Code. Go to this link and based your operating system, click on the blue download button. For me, it's Mac, so I click on Mac. Then I will be redirected to another page and a new file will be downloaded in my download folder. After download, double click on it, follow the installation and install VS Code on your computer. Let's go for the next one. It's Google Chrome as web browser. Go to google.com/Chrome And here, click on Download Chrome. After a while, Chrome start downloading, and like what we did in VS Code, just double click on the downloaded file, follow the instruction, and you will have Google Chrome on your computer. The next software is Homebrew. It's a package manager for macOS and Linux. Go to brew.sh and copy this command. Then open your VS Code and from Terminal menu, click on New Terminal, paste the command here and press Enter. It needs your admin password, enter it, and it start installing Homebrew on your computer. After installing Homebrew, go for the next package. It's Git. Go to git-scm.com/download and based on your operating system, select the right one. I'm using macOS, and here it's super easy. Run brew install git. Brew install git. Run it in your integrated terminal in VS Code, and it start installing Git on your computer. The last package is Node.js. It's a JavaScript runtime environment that we needed to create backend and building front-end project. You have two options, LTS and current. I select current to use the latest feature of Node.js. Click on it, and it will start installing Node.js like Chrome and VS Code. Just double click on the downloaded file, follow the instruction, and you will have Node on your computer. Great, here Git is installed. Let's check the installation of other packages. Close this and open it again. Let us start by Node version. Type node-v and press enter. Here we are using version 19. For npm-v, it's the package manager for Node. It's version 9. Let's check Git. We are using version 2.39. That's it. We installed all required packages and tools to develop e-commerce website by TypeScript Mir. In the next session, we install extensions for VS Code and make it ready to develop our project. If you are using Windows operating system, watch this lesson to see how you can install all requirement tools for development in this course. Let us start by installing Google Chrome. Open your default browser. I'm using Microsoft Edge on Windows, and type Chrome download on the address bar. Then select this address, google.com/Chrome, and then click on download Chrome. After downloading Chrome, click on Chrome setup.exe, confirm, press yes, and then it starts downloading Chrome on your computer. After that, it installs Google Chrome. There we are. There is no need to Microsoft Edge. Close it and maximize Google Chrome. Chrome is the default browser for the web development in this course, and it's time to install Code Editor. In the address bar, type VS Code and press enter. We are going to install Visual Studio Code on this computer. Awesome. Download for Windows. If you are using another operating system, you can download them here. Use the stable one. Download for Windows. You will be redirected to this page, and it starts downloading VS Code in your downloads folder. After downloading, click on it, click on Run, and accept. Select the default options and click on Install button. Click on Finish, and there we are. We have Visual Studio Code opened in our computer. Make it maximize and go back to Google Chrome and install Node.js. Type Node.js and press enter. Here, click on Node.js. You will be redirected to nodejs.com/en, and then click on this version, the LTS version of Node. I'm using version 16, and let's download it. After download, click on it. Open the installer of Node.js. Click Next. And next again, select default options and install Node.js on your computer. And the last thing that we're gonna install here is Git. Type Git and press enter and select this one, git-scm.com. Click on it, select download, and based on your operating system, select the right one. I'm using Windows. Click here to download the latest version. And then click on installer file, click yes, and there we are. Click on next here. We are going to install git bash and git UI. Select default options, next, next. Select default one, click on next, next again, default options, default one, next, next, click on install. So what I did is to accept default options to install Git on Windows. Awesome. It says completing installation of Git and click on finish. Press escape and let's go to VS Code, and from terminal menu select new terminal, and instead of default shell, which is PowerShell, I'm going to use git bash, but I'm going to make it as a default profile. So click on select default profile, and by installing git bash we have this option here, select git bash, then click on plus, and this time we have git bash in Windows, so we can run Linux-like commands in Windows, and throughout this lesson we use this command style in the terminal. Let's test the version of git version. So we are using version 2.34.1. So your versions may be higher, that's okay. Let's check the node version, node version. Awesome, we are using version 16.13.1. Check npm version. We need all of them for this course, and we are using version 8.1.2. That's it about installing Google Chrome, Visual Studio Code, Node.js, and Git on Windows operating system. In the next lesson, we configure Visual Studio Code to code simpler, smarter, and better throughout this course. In this lesson, we are going to install extensions for VS Code and configure VS Code for development. Let's go for it. In your VS Code, click on extensions icon, and there we are. We only need 3 extensions. ES7 React snippet. So type ES7 React in the search box, select the first item and click on install button. I already installed it, so I get uninstall button. After installing this package, go for the next one. It is ESLint. We need ESLint to find issues in our code. If you don't have it, just type ESLint in the search box, select the first option and click on install button again. And the last extension that we need is Prettier. Type Prettier in the extension search box, select the first item, and there we are. It's a formatter for our code. Click on install button, and after installing these 3 packages, we are ready to configure VS Code. Let's go for it. From help menu in VS Code, select show all commands and type user setting. Select JSON one, not the UI. Select this one, and here is all the setting that we need in our project. From these settings, only 5 settings are required and others are optional. To enter setting, just type these options in the setting. Let's try the first one. I just get rid of the first setting and try to type it again. Inside double quote, type color theme, you will get workbench color theme. Press enter, and here we have a list of options. Select default dark plus, it's the theme that we will use in this course. For others, use the same method. Type editor.default formatter to the prettier-VS Code. So we are using the extension that we installed earlier for formatting our code. Also enable format on save. So when you press Ctrl S, automatically your code will be saved. Next two settings are for prettier. First one is removing semicolon at the end of the comments. And the last one is using single quote instead of double quote for wrapping strings. By having this setting, our code looks prettier and more professional. For the optional setting, I just set the zoom level to 4 to make the font bigger. The next one is removing the mini map on the right side. Also, I remove the status bar at the bottom of VS Code. And next three settings are for get, enabling smart commit, auto fetch, and confirm sync automatically. And the last one is for TypeScript to automatically update imports on moving file throughout folders. That's it about the VS Code configuration. Save this file and we are ready to start development in this course. In this lesson, we are going to create a next app with Shadcn. Let's start by creating a new folder on desktop. Set the folder name to whatever you like. I'm going to set it to next-Shadcn e-commerce and drag it inside VS Code. Then go to terminal, create a new terminal, and make the VS Code maximized. In the next step, let's follow this guide. The first command is creating next app using npx, but here I'm going to use pnpm because it's much faster and easier to handle packages. So click here, select pnpm, go back to the terminal, paste the command. It's gonna be pnpm create next app, replace my app with dot because we are going to create the next application in current folder. Enable TypeScript, --TypeScript, Tailwind, and ESLint. Press enter. For the first question, would you like to use src folder? No. App router? Yes. Default import alias? We're not gonna customize it. No. And then it start installing packages using pnpm. Let's go for step 2. It's initializing Shadcn UI. Like before, click on paste icon, select pnpm, and paste the command here. It's gonna be pnpm dlx shadcn-ui @latest init. It initializes the folders, create some files. So we need to answer questions. Which style would you like? The default one. Which color would you like? The default one, slate. And would you like to use CSS variants for colors? Let's put it as default, yes. And that's it. What we have is component.json, edited tailwind.config, and some new packages in the dev dependency of package.json. Also, it creates live folder. Inside that we have utils. The function inside utils is cn to merge classes together. Also, it edited globals.css and added some stuff here. Let's go for next step, step 3. We already answered these questions. Let's go for adding Google font. Here we can use Enter or any other fonts that we'd like. Here we already have Enter font. I'm going to replace it with Poppins font and rename it as Font Sans. Then define font sans based on the guide. For Poppins, I need to set the weight to get rid of TypeScript error. I'm gonna use 2 weight, 400 for normal font and 600 for bold. Right before this, import cn from the lives utils folder and then replace the class name with these classes, minimum height screen, make it full height, set background color, use the font sans that we created here, and use anti-alias. Also, we're gonna mix them with the font sans that we have defined here. So the whole application will use the Poppins font that we have defined here. After importing the font in the root layout, let's go to the next step. It's configuring tailwind.config. In the Explorer, find tailwind.config, find theme, inside theme, find extend, inside extend, right before colors, add font family equal to this object sans, put an array, use variable font sans, and the second item in the sans array is font family.sans. Let's import font family. At the very beginning, import font family from tailwind css/default. Save the code. That's it. Based on the documentation in Shadcn UI, the last step is testing. Let's add a button by this command. Here, I'm not gonna use npx, so I click here, select pnpm, open terminal, and run this command, pnpm dlx, Shadcn UI add button. By this command, we can add other components from Shadcn, like alert, accordion, and other stuff that we have at this address, ui.shadcn.com. Awesome, it's been added. Let's test it. Go to app/page.tsx, get rid of all content inside return part, and then define a div. Inside div, import button from @components/UI/button. Set the caption to button and close the button component. Get rid of image, save the code, and let's test the result. To test it, open terminal and run npm run div. Great, it's ready. Control click or command click on Mac, and there we are. We have a button from Shadcn. It has style and it works. Next step, go to the theme. Here we have different theme. I'm going to orange theme because it's very similar to Amazon.com. Click on orange, copy the code, copy this, and then go to globals.css, find the layer base completely, delete it, and paste the code right here. Go to the application. Here is the button. It's orange. Great. We successfully created next application with Shadcn UI. At the very end, I'm going to push the code on GitHub. First of all, you need to create GitHub account and connect it to VS Code, and then go to the source control, enter a message. It's create next app with Shadcn, and click on commit. Then click on publish branch. I already connected to GitHub. If you're not connected, you need to enter your email and password on GitHub to connect VS Code to GitHub. Then enter a name for the repository. I'm going to make it next-pg, stand for Postgres, -Shadcn-e-commerce. Then select public repository. I'm going to make it public. If you would like, you can make it private. Then it's publishing to GitHub, uploading files, and click on open on GitHub. That's it. Here is the repository address. You can use this to access to all files, images, and source code of the project at this address, github.com/basir/next-pg-shadcn-e-commerce. Great. That's it about this lesson. Until next lesson. Bye-bye. In this lesson, we are going to create website layout. What we're gonna do is to create a header like this with logo and brand. On the right side, header menu to show cart and sign in button. In the main content, we create a space for listing products, and at the very end, we have footer to show brand name and all right reserved. Also, we change the fav icon of the website. To get the source code of this lesson, go to this link, github.com/basir/nextpg Shadcn e-commerce, and click on commits. Then find this lesson 4, create website layout. You can copy code snippet from here into your code editor. Let's get to code. Let's start by removing favicon and Vercel and next SVG. In app, remove favicon. In public, remove next and Vercel SVG, and then add icon.svg to app folder and logo.svg to public assets icon. Inside public, create new folder, assets. In assets, create new folder, icons. You can find icon.svg and logo.svg from my repository, a link in the description. Here is logo.svg. I just put it in assets. Let's rename assets like this. And in app folder, add logo.svg. Next step is editing global.css and add utility layer for creating website layout. Open global.css, scroll down. After layer base, create another layer, set the name to utility, create wrapper class. It's gonna be the wrapper of whole website. What I did here is to set the max width to 7XL for large screen, make item center aligned, padding 5 for medium screen, create padding horizontally 10 and full width. Another class is flex start and flex center and flex between. So instead of writing this long classes, I just use flex start if I need this type of class in my application. Also, for creating standard fonts sizes, I'm using heading 1, 2, and 3 bold. What I did is to set the font to bold, set text to 3XL, but for larger screen, make it 4XL. It's very similar to heading 2 and heading 3. Next step is creating index.ts in constant folder. Next step is creating constant, like app name and app description. Go to live folder, create constant. Inside that, create index.ts. Here is the code. Define app name and export it. If we have app name in the env file, use it. Otherwise, it's gonna be Amazona. For app description, also I check environment variables. If there is no value for app description, use this. Next step is creating header component. Inside components folder, create shared folder. Right here, new folder shared. I'm not gonna mix it with Shadcn components. And inside that, create new folder for header. In header, create new file, index.tsx. Here is the code for header. First of all, we import shopping cart from Lucid React. It's a shopping cart icon. Import image and link from Next. And import button from Shadcn UI. Also import app name from constant. Then define header component and at the very end export default header. Inside this component, or return this JSX. The wrapper is header semantic element of HTML5. Set class name to full width and create border button. Inside that, create a div. Set class name to wrapper. So we're gonna use the wrapper that we have defined here in utilities in global.css and use flex between. So we're using this class too. It creates flex justify between items center. Inside that, create another div, set class name to flex start. So items is gonna be on the left side here. In this div, create a link, set href to homepage and class name to flex start to. Inside that, render an image using image component from next, set the source to the logo.svg and set width and height and alternative text to the app name logo. Next to the image, the logo, show the render application name. After this div, create another div. So this one is gonna be the menu, the header menu on the right side of the application. What I'm gonna render is a button. Inside button, render a link. So I'm making as child props to true and set variant to ghost. By having this, I can render a link like a button. Render a link and set the icon to shopping cart. Next to the shopping cart icon, render cart. Next to this button, create another button, set the link to href to sign in. For this link, replace shopping cart with user icon. Select this one to auto import user icon from Lucid React. Then set the caption to sign in. And let's go for next step. Create footer component inside shared folder. Inside component, shared, right click, new file, footer.tsx. The reason that I'm using folder for header and file for footer is that we're gonna add other components to the header, but footer is a single component. Here is the code for footer, import app name, render footer semantic HTML5. Inside that, create a div, set flex center, and the value in this div is current year, app name, all right reserved. Next step is creating route group. Go to app folder, create a new folder, inside parentheses put root. So it's gonna be the root of application. Inside that, create a new file for layout, set it to layout.tsx. Here is the code for layout, import footer and header, export default function root layout. It accepts children of type React node. Inside that, we return a div. Set the class name to flex, make it full height, and set the flex direction to column. So inside that, we have header at the top, main in the center, and footer at the bottom. Render header and footer, and inside that, render main semantic element from HTML5, set class name to flex1, and wrapper. So it's gonna occupy, by using flex1, it's gonna occupy the remaining space between header and footer. Also, we use wrapper to create margin for elements inside the main element. Then render children inside main. Great. Let's go for next step. Here, I'm going to move page.tsx to the root group. Go to app folder, find page.tsx and drag it inside root. Move. That's it. Great. Let's test the result. Awesome. Here is the website layout. We have header, we have footer, and the main content. It has padding from left and right. In the header, I have logo, brand name, header menu for shopping cart and sign in. And in the footer, I have brand name and all right reserved. That's it about this lesson. Until next lesson, bye-bye. In this lesson, we are going to list products. What we're gonna do is to create sample products and images, and then create components to render product cart and product list. To get the source code of this lesson, go to repository at this address, and then go to commit section, find the commit 05 list products, and then use the code from this page. Let's get to code. Here is the plan to list products. First of all, I'm going to add ESLint recommended to the extend part of ESLint config. Open .eslint rc.config, make extend as an array, and add ESLint recommend at the beginning. By having this setting, we have better standard encoding. Next step is adding sample images to the assets folder. Let's start by creating images folder in assets. Find public assets, right click, new folder, images. So we have icons and images in assets folder, and put some images inside this. You can find images from my repository, link in the description. Paste the images here. Here is the name of images that we need to have. Here, P1-1 is the first image of product 1, P1-2 second image of the product 1, and also I have two banners to show on the home screen. We will use this later. Great. Next step is defining sample data. Go to the live folder and create sample data.ts. Here in live folder, new file, sample data.ts. Inside that, create sample data as an object that contains products as an array, and export defaulted. For products, we need to define objects. Each object in this array represents a product. We have product name, slug, category, image as an array of a string, image address. They are pointing to the images inside assets images folder. Price, I'm using a string, don't worry. We convert it to number where we need it. Brand, rating, still a string, num review of type number. Stock, number of this product in the stock. 5. Description, is it featured product? I mean, do we need to show on the home screen as banner? And if it's yes, the banner link address. Let's go for second image. You don't need to type them. You can find it on the commit link that I just put on the beginning of this video. The third product, it's not featured. And here, the last one. So what I did is to define 4 products inside products array. Next step is adding cart from Shadcn. It's a component to show cart. In Shadcn, we have cart like this. I just simply click here, pnpm, open a new terminal side by side, and paste the command pnpm dlx shadcn ui @latest add product. After installing this package, let's go for creating product cart. It should be inside components shared folder. So create product folder inside shared. Here in components shared new folder product. Inside that, create product -cart tsx. Inside product new file, product -cart. Here is the code of product cart. Import image and link from next and react from react. Here is the code of product cart. Import image and link from next, and import cart, cart content, and cart header from Shadcn UI like this. Then define product cart and export default product cart. Inside this component, we accept product as any. In next lessons, we convert it to product model, but for this lesson, to keep it simple, I just set it to any. What I'm gonna return is cart component from Shadcn, set class name to full screen, and set max width to SM. So it's gonna be 24 rem or 384 pixel. In the cart, define cart header, set padding to 0 because I'm going to show image, and set item center. Inside that, create a link, set href to /product/product slug, and inside link, render an image, set the source of image to the first element, the first item of images field of product. Set height and width, and for class, use aspect square to make the image square. Use object cover class and make it rounded. After cart header, define cart content, create padding 4, set display to grid, and create gap 4. The first element in the cart content is a div that has a paragraph. Set text size to extra small and show the product brand. Second element in the cart content is the product name. Set the text size to small and use font medium. The third one is a div. Set display to flex between, create gap. On the left side, show product rating, and on the right side, check product.stock. If we have this product in the stock, show the product price, otherwise show out of stock. Use text deconstructive to show red color for out of stock, and if we have this product, set font bold to make the product price bold. Put $sign before it. Great, here is the product cart. Let's go for next step. It's creating product list component inside product folder of shared folder. Next, on product right click, new file, product list.tsx. Here is the code for product list. Import product cart. Define product list component and export defaulted. Product list component accept data of type any. As I said before, we make this as a product array in next lessons after defining product model. But here, to keep it simple, just take it as any. In the return part, return empty container and then create conditional rendering for data.length. Data is list of products. It's an array of products. If we have any, create a div. Inside that, set class name to grid. Number of columns is 1. For small screen, it's 2. For medium screen, 3. And for large screen, I'm going to show 4 products in a row. Set gap to 4 and then call map function on data array and convert each product to a product card. Set key to get rid of duplicate key error of React and pass product as product to the product card. If there is no product, just render no product found. Awesome. It's time to use product list in page. Go to page.tsx in app root folder, get rid of div, replace it with this div. Set class name to space vertically 8. Set h2 class name to h2 bold latest product and render product list imported from product folder and set data property to sample data imported from live folder sample data.product. Get rid of button component. That's it. Let's check the result. Awesome. Here we have latest products like this. This one is out of stock, and for others we have prices. They are linked to the product details page because we didn't implement them. We get 404 error. And that's it. We implemented product list in this lesson. Until next lesson, bye-bye. Before starting this lesson, let's fix some errors in the code. To find the error, open a new terminal and run npm run build. In the project folder, to get all compile time errors, I mean the TypeScript errors. We have 3 errors. Let's go for the first one. It's in the layout in app, like this. We need to import React, like this, import React. The next error is in app layout.tsx. It says we do not need to have inter font. We don't need it. And we need to import React here, like this. Save both layout files and run npm run build again. Awesome. This time there is no linting error. It collecting page data and generate static page and finalizing page optimization. Awesome. We successfully built the project, so we are ready to deploy the project on Vercel. To create Vercel Postgres database, we need to create Vercel account first. If you don't have Vercel account, go to vercel.com, select sign in button, the plan type, select hobby, enter your name and click on continue. Here we have options for login. I'm going to log in with GitHub. I already created GitHub account, so I will be authorized. And then here I have my Vercel dashboard. Click on your name at the beginning, go to the storage, select Postgres, serverless SQL, and accept. Enter a database name. I'm going to set it to next-pg-shadcn-e-commerce. Here, it's very important. You need to select the region that is close to your Next.js application that you deployed on Vercel. Here, I'm going to select Frankfurt. So you need to make it close to your Next.js application on Vercel and click on create. Awesome. Postgres store successfully created and you will be redirected to this page. Here we have the connection string, this one. To get it, click on .env.local, copy a snippet, and then go to VS Code. In Explorer, scroll down on empty space, new file, .env.local. Paste the code here. You need to use your own Postgres database. Get rid of all of this and only keep the first one. Don't use this one because I'm going to remove this database. Save .env.local and let's go for the next step. Because we have .env.local, I can add next public app name and next public app description. So if you want to customize your application name and description through environment variable, you can use this. Next step, install Drizzle Orm for connecting to Postgres database through this link. Great, I just opened this link and select Vercel Postgres. Let's follow the installation steps. I just select pnpm, copy first command to install Drizzle Orm and Vercel Postgres packages. Open terminal in the side-by-side window. Great, I just installed them. Go back and install the dependency for the dev dependency Drizzle kit. We use this to browse database. Paste the command pnpm add -d drizzle-kit. After this, it's time to create a schema. In the empty space in Explorer, create new folder db. Inside db, create new file schema.ts. Here is the code for schema.ts. Export cons products. It's equal to pgtable. Pgtable is a function from Drizzle Orm / Postgres core. What we're gonna do here is to define the structure of product in Postgres. Pgtable accepts 2 parameters. The first one is the name of table in the database, and second one is the fields of this table. The first field is the primary key. The type is UUID. I'm using default random to generate random ID. It's 24 characters and I make it primary key and it's not null. Next field is name of type text, slug text, category text. Images is an array of text, brand text, description text, stock integer, it's not null, price is numeric, it can have 2 decimal points, and maximum length of this number is 12 digits. It's not null, default value is 0. For rating, it's numeric. For num review, it's integer. Is featured is boolean, default is false. Banner of type text, it's the banner URL, and created at of type timestamp. Default is current time, and it's not null. The third parameter to PG table is for setting index. I'm going to make a slug field unique by this function. What I'm going to return is an object. In this object, I define the unique index name product slug index, and I call unique index from Drizzle Orm PG core, set the name to product slug index, and set the index on table.slug, this field. Great. I successfully created product schema on schema.ts. Let's go for next step. We need to install dev dependency, packages, PG, type of PG, and next dev. Copy this command, go to the terminal, paste the command here, and install PG and other packages in the dev dependency of package.json. Next step is creating drizzle.config.ts. It should be in the root of the project. So go to the root of project, right click here, new file, drizzle.config.ts. Here is the code for drizzle config. What we did is to load environment config from nextenv and pass cwd from node process as parameter to this. By having this, all fields inside .env.local will be loaded to this file. Then import define config from the Drizzle kit, and then call define config and export defaulted. As parameter to define config, we need to pass dialect, it's PostgreSQL, schema, file address, it's db/schema.ts, the output folder for the Drizzle stuff, it's the Drizzle folder, and this parameter is very important, it's db credential to pass the Postgres URL. Pass an object that contains URL, and the URL is coming from the environment variable, the Postgres URL. Let's go for next step. It's applying schema.ts to the database on Vercel using this command. By running npx drizzle kit push, it will create a new table on the Vercel Postgres database. Let's test it if we have that table from a schema on the Vercel. To test it, run this command, npx drizzle kit studio. By running this, we have this link here. Control click on it to open it on a new window. Here I have product table. It's a Postgres database viewer, the Drizzle Kit Studio, and it shows list of all table. If I click on a table, I will have all fields. Here you can see all columns on this table. Good. So far, we successfully connected to the Postgres database and created product table using a schema file, and we are ready for next step. It's creating seed file. We are going to seed sample products to the database. Go to db folder, create seed.ts. Here is the code for seed.ts. Like the Drizzle config, import cwd and load config. Also, we need to import the Drizzle from the Drizzle Orm node-postgres and import client from PG, Postgres package. Then import everything from a schema and import sample data from live folder. In line 10, we load environment variable from .env.local and define main function as an async function and then call it at the end. In the main function, create try catch block, then create a new client. Client is coming from PG, and pass connection string to the client function. After that, await client.connect. By running this line, we connected to the Postgres database. Then call Drizzle from the Drizzle Orm /node Postgres and pass client as parameter to Drizzle. Get an instance of database from this function. What I'm gonna do here is to delete all products by calling db.delete and then passing products from a schema object. Schema is coming from the schema.ts. After this, it's time to insert sample data. So first of all, I deleted all records inside the products table and then call db.insert, set the table that I'm going to insert into its product, schema.product. The values is coming from sample data.products from live folder. And then by calling returning, I get the inserted data to the res products. Then end the client, end the connection, and console log sample inserted products. If there is an error, show the error to the user. Awesome. Let's run this command. To run it, simply open a new terminal and call npx space tsx space the address of ts file. It's ./db/seed. Press yes to install tsx and wait a while. Awesome. To get inserted data. Here, as you see, we have res products, array of product. Here is the array, the ID of created product, number 1, number 2, 3, and 4. Let's go back to the browser, refresh the Studio page, and here we have sample products with 4 products. Awesome. In this lesson, we successfully created Postgres database on Vercel and installed the Drizzle Orm, connected to the Postgres database. We created a schema and we seeded sample data to the product table. In the next lesson, we connect to this table and load data from database instead of sample data on live folder. Until that lesson, bye-bye. In this lesson, we are going to load products from database. In the home page, these products is coming from database instead of sample data in live folder. To get the source code of this lesson, go to repository on this link, go to commit section, find load products from database commit, and throughout this lesson, compare your code to this one. Let's get to code. Here is the plan to load products from database. Let us start by creating drizzle.ts in db folder. We're gonna use this object to access to database. Go to db folder, right click new file, drizzle.ts. Here is the source code. Import all as a schema from schema.ts. Import Drizzle from Vercel Postgres and import SQL from Vercel Postgres. Then call Drizzle from Drizzle Orm. The first parameter is SQL from Vercel Postgres and second one is an object that contains a schema in it. Then export default DB. By having DB, we can access to all tables and send query and manipulate data. Next step is defining types for product. Let's create types folder. In the empty space of Explorer, define types folder. Inside that, right click new file, index.ts. Here is the code of types. Import products from db/schema. Import infer select model from Drizzle Orm, and then use infer select model and pass this generic type of products. Get the result type as product and export it. Next step is creating product action. Go to live folder, create new folder for actions, and inside that create new file, set file name to product.actions.ts. Here I'm going to define get latest products and get last 4 products from the database. Client shouldn't be able to run this file, so I'm using use server to mark this file as server-side only code. Import disk from Drizzle Orm to sort. Import db from db-drizzle.ts and import products from schema. Then export async function get latest product. Inside that, use await and get db from the result.ts, access to the query object of db, and then access to the products in query object. In products, call find many and pass this object. Here I'm setting order and limit. For order, use order by, define an array, and use disk function from Drizzle Orm to sort descending by products.created@field. Second parameter is limit. I'm going to get only 4 records of products table, then return it. Next step is in the page.tsx in root folder. Open page.tsx. Right before return, call get latest product, but we need to make this function async because I'm using await here. Import get latest product from products action and pass latest products instead of sample data.products. Get rid of this, save the code. I'm going to pass another parameter to product list, its title, and cut this from here. Go to product list and put it right here. Then get title and put title like this. So I just make the title of product list parametric. Here I need to define title of type string, and for data, let's convert it to the product model. Replace any with product array, import product from types folder, and instead of any, use product. Go to product card, instead of any, use product type, import it from types folder, and there we are, we don't have any anymore. Let's test the result. Run the project if you don't run it already. Awesome. Here I have list of products, but this time it's coming from the database, the Postgres Vercel database. Great, that's it about this lesson. Until next lesson, bye-bye. In this lesson, we are going to deploy project on Vercel. We already created Vercel account to create Postgres database. So it's time to connect GitHub repository of this project to Vercel and deploy it on Vercel. Before deploying your project, you need to make sure that there is no error on building project. To test it, in a new terminal, run npm run build command and check the result. If everything is okay, you will get this message. Otherwise, you will get error in linting and checking validity of types. If you have such an error, you need to fix them first. Next step is committing. Put a message if you have any uncommitted changes. And after commit, sync changes to push your code on GitHub. Let's go for next step. Go to vercel.com, click add new project. You'll be redirected to this page. You need to connect to GitHub repository. If you're not connected already, you will get a button to connect. Just click on it and follow the instruction to connect your GitHub repository to Vercel. Then you will have list of all repository right here. Select the one that we are working on this project. It's NextPG Shadcn e-commerce. Click on import and go to config project page. Set the project name. I'm using NextPG Shadcn e-commerce. You can add anything at the end to make it unique for your deploy. The framework is Next.js, and what we're gonna edit is environment variable. Go to VS Code, open .env.local, select all, and copy. Come here, select first input, and paste. Automatically, all variables will be added to this table. So we have Postgres URL like this. Click on deploy, and it starts deploying your project on Vercel. It takes a while to build the project, creating production build, linking and checking validity of types, and generating static pages. Awesome, it's done and will be redirected to another page. Congratulations page. So we successfully deployed our project, and here is preview of project. Just click on it, and there we are. We have list of products, right, coming from the Postgres database on Vercel. Great. That's it about this lesson. Until next lesson, we work on creating product details page and continue building this fully functional e-commerce website. Until next lesson, bye-bye.